Hey, 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 people, it's Friday and it's Beards on the Street. How you doing, brother?
Morning, man.
Morning. How's
It's sure pretty out, dude.
It is nice and it's cool.
Yeah, we're to the crisp mornings now.
Yeah, I like it. I
got coffee this morning. I had to wear a jacket.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
It takes a lot for us to get cold.
Well,
but then once we're cold, we're big babies. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like most men. It's like when you're sick, you're just the biggest freaking baby on the planet.
This is like some of the perfect weather, but you get 5 minutes of it, and it's going to be cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's going to get real damn cold. Yeah, you know, when I get sick, I just want to be left alone. And, of course, Lisa is just walking through the room with a Lysol can, blasting everything. and you feel like shit, and then you start breathing that in.
Yeah.
It's like, baby, get out of here. Stop it.
How would it be to be taken care of?
Oh, you know what? She's my wife, Aaron, not yours.
I get sick and just disappear for a few days.
All right, I'm just going to bring our guest on right now, and
Yeah.
then she can be a part of the whole thing. So we have a special guest today, guys. We're so stoked. She's a dear friend of mine. I've known her for a long, long time. And she just happens to be the El Presidente of the Salt Lake Board. So without further ado.
It's kind of a big deal, it sounds like.
She's a big deal,
Big
dude.
deal.
So our guest today is Dawn Stevens. Dawn, how the hell are you? Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yep.
And I'm not that big of a deal.
You
I'm
are.
tall, but I'm not that big of a deal.
You are tall.
You are very tall.
Yeah, 6 feet tall.
Yeah. So I've known Dawn, oh my gosh, what, 15, 20 years?
At least.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You know, I wasn't even an agent when we first met.
That's true.
No, I wasn't. I was slinging my Zooks out in the big bad motorcycle world. So it's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
So Dawn recently became the president of the board. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a pretty big accomplishment.
Well, ending my term this year, and what a term to be serving in leadership with all
No
of the,
kidding.
Lawsuits that we've had with NAR and DOJ and MLS, and the removal of the commissions on the MLS, and lots of things happening.
Yeah.
Lots and lots. Has it been, I mean, from a standpoint of the board, has it been kind of a nightmare?
Not a nightmare, but just the ability to, and I hate using this word, but pivot, because the reality is we all had to change what we were doing and how we were doing it. And guess what? Nobody died.
Nobody
Right.
We all survived.
That's what I
And
always
homes
like
are
to
still
say.
selling.
Life can be bad, but did somebody die? Then it's okay.
It's okay. There's no blood.
And through all of this, there's still a need for buyer's agency.
There is.
Right.
There always will be.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm kind of curious, and if you don't want to answer anything we ask you, just tell us, you just pass, okay? Simple. But
This is great because I've had zero prep for this.
I know,
I'm
zero
awesome.
prep, and this isn't that bad. There's a new organization out there that's competing with NAR, which is Umansky is one of the dudes doing it. 2 cents on it. I'm just curious
Have you
what
ever
your
heard
2
of it?
cents on it.
I have not. I'm not aware of it.
Oh, you
However,
are?
I did just read the other day about the Realtor.com and Zillow collaboration to provide more product to agents. I'm not familiar
What?
with an NAR competitor.
So, do you know who Umansky is? He's that bigwig real estate agent. He owns the agency.
Okay.
And he's out of California. I mean, the guy's a major baller. He has a show on TV with his family, basically, their personal lives. And anyways, when all of this started going down, they basically said NAR is not doing enough for us. We need another organization. And so him and some other major heavy hitters. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know all the
Are they
names.
still working on it then?
Oh, it's up. It's up and rolling. So I was just curious because I got a thing on it this morning, and they were talking about basically all the different changes that have come from NAR and all of that, and some of them they're not real happy with. That's why I was going to ask you if it's something that you heard about or knew about, or Because I was curious.
You know, if you're referring to the settlement, nothing is perfect.
It's not the settlement. Yeah.
It is what it is. That we are where we are, and yes.
And it's not going to change. At least not the way we want it to.
Well, we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody
Right.
does, right? Nobody knows what the future holds and what administration is going to go into office and what will occur when that occurs.
Right. Who would ever thought we'd be where we are right now?
Exactly.
10 years or 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
You know, as bloated as NAR can be at times, I think they have taken an internal look and say, okay, there needs to be some changes. They have made those internal changes. And the reality is we need a leader in that largest trade organization within the United States to be pounding on the doorsteps of DC to protect homeowner rights.
Right.
We absolutely need that. It is necessary, and now more than ever, our PAC dollars are going towards that cause.
Right.
And that is the reality of where we are. We need somebody to speak on the public's behalf because the government, they try to help the public,
Right.
but in all essence, they're really hurting
Mm-hmm.
the public.
Right.
And the whole point
Too much
is,
bureaucracy and too much just noise. I like to call it noise.
I don't think this change has helped the consumer. Do you?
I don't think it
Not
has
at all.
No.
You know?
I think all it's done is it's pitted the buyers against the sellers in a very negative way. Because I mean, think about it. If as a buyer's agent or as a buyer, if all of a sudden they're refusing to pay and they have to come out of pocket to pay, I mean, it's pitting them against each other. I don't care what anybody says. It's creating a negative experience.
I don't think commissions have gone away. I think if
Oh, they definitely haven't
if a
gone
seller
away.
if a seller isn't willing to participate, it's just one more layer that makes it more unaffordable for a buyer to be able to actually buy a home because
Then there's that.
it's their true cost. A buyer's agency fee is their true cost. It's always been wrapped in the sales price. But I'm curious what changes, what your impressions have been about it.
I think it creates an issue for especially first-time home buyers in their inability to purchase a home in the event that a seller is not willing to contribute because a buyer agent representation is necessary, especially when you're making the largest purchase ever in your life. You wouldn't go to a dentist or say, oh, I'm going to fill my own cavity. There are so many things that require in a transaction, and without having that professional knowledge, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Right. Agreed.
However,
We have to adapt no matter what's
we
coming.
have to adapt. However,
I agree.
I see many circumstances where agents are actually getting paid more money, getting more greedier. They are creating a dual agency or limited agency environment, which I don't think should exist at all. Because remember, who do we represent?
Right.
We are
It's
trying to
kinda hard.
represent our fiduciary and do it in the best of the capacity. And how can you do that when you become a neutral third party?
Right.
You become Switzerland. So, in all honesty, I believe that the public is not being served. There are better ways to do it. Again, it's not perfect, but we will get there.
Right.
The big experience throughout my listings I've had this year, people have known about this coming. They've already started presencing it. So I'm getting more buyer calls than ever. But when a buyer calls me, I work for the seller. So it's not putting them in a position, and they're not coming in and they understand the separation of the commissions. They're not coming in trying to get me to really represent them. They just want to discount that price. So the seller's really not getting the benefit.
Right.
The buyer, they're not getting representation. Consumers are losing.
Right. And how many lawsuits will occur from consumers not being represented because
Right.
of their inability to do so? Thank you.
Because now there's blood in the water.
Because there's a professional on the other side who just, we know what we're doing and we're working for them. We're working for a seller. So the buyer, it does have the short end of the stick, even if they get a lower price.
Right.
Which they're really not. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Because we're doing a good job in getting our seller
And
the price.
median for a home, I believe in Salt Lake County right now is about $540.
Exactly. That's ridiculous.
It is. And then the governor's initiative to create affordable housing, he wants to build 30,000 units. And I sit on the HBA board. The builders are like, how?
Yeah.
How do we
Yeah.
do that?
Seriously,
do we
how?
build a home for $350,000? we can't do it.
Not with today's pricing for everything. It's some tough times. I mean, we're dealing with, there's a lot of balls in the air right now that we're trying to juggle and do our job and do our business.
Is ultimately what, I mean, let's go conspiracy theory. Are they?
Oh,
is
my hell.
I know.
Come on,
I know.
Aaron.
Wait.
Down the rabbit hole.
No, so
the rabbit
is
hole.
what's trying to happen? Are they trying to squish this enough to where we have a price drop between rates, between changes and uncertainty and all that kind of thing? Are they trying to somehow force the prices down?
Don, what are all the answers? I want them all right now.
So in all things, like the stock market and real estate, everything is cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. We have had an incredible market for the past 10 years where we have gone up double digits in percentage in raising prices. Supply and demand plays a role in that.
Yeah.
Supply and demand is still going to play a role. I have seen a slight correction. The reality is home prices are still going up about 3%.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
That is the reality. So, where's the correction?
Right.
You know, it's funny because my wife's best friend is from Vegas, and she's well sought after home interior, like with very affluent people. And she was recently
Like
up here.
the boxer.
Yeah, she's got
Mayweather.
clients that are
Luxury.
yeah. Anyways, and she's very, very, very good at what she does. Licia was telling me that she was having a conversation. She went to lunch because she was up here. Her son is a pilot or a brand new pilot, and he's doing some training here. Anyways, she was appalled at our prices on food, on housing, she was just like, this is ridiculous. And I mean, coming from Vegas, there's some amazing restaurants down in Vegas, like really nice restaurants. And she goes to a lot of them because of the clientele that she serves. But I'm just telling you, it was kind of eye-opening to hear her perspective coming from
shocked.
Vegas and her being shocked at what's going on here. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. And that's only one state away.
Right. Yeah. So leading into the main topic that I actually wanted you to come on and talk about, and she's looking at me, she's like, all right, what is it? Here we go. No, you're going to love this. I promise. So Aaron and I have created a system that's called the VIP 50. Okay. And
Top 50 clients?
it's
Past clients?
it's not even clients. It's just 50
Relationships.
50 relationships that you have in your life that we have a very specific plug and play, do step one, do step two, on through the process to basically turn those 50 people in from you showing up for them and you caring about your relationship with them and giving them value and making them feel important is really seriously what it comes down to. And you turn those 50 people into referral machines and they turn into like seriously super fans of yours.
Basically teaches you how to be a friend and be in
How
somebody's
to be a
life.
really
Yeah.
close, good, awesome friend. And it's fun because we like our friends.
So the transaction is a byproduct of you being a good friend.
But it's not even, see, and that's where everybody goes, and you're going to get this real quick. We're not after those 50 people's business
You're after
per se. We're after who they know. So you all of a sudden take 50 people, and literally the average adult knows 2 to 250 people in their sphere. You turn those 50 people into 10,000 that you're tapping into. And it's powerful, like really powerful. So just to give you an example, because I know we haven't talked a lot about it at all, but our system is take 2023. We were designing the system the last quarter of 2022 and the first quarter of 2023. So I started plugging into our system that we designed, and by the end of 2023, so in 3 quarters, because the first quarter I had 0 sales, not one. And that was right when interest rates, as you remember, were starting to click up.
Got up as high as 8.5.
Right. So end of year in 2023, I had done 44 transactions using our system. Now, the reason I wanted you to come on, because there's 18,000 real estate agents. Maybe that number might be a little smaller.
So I know in the Salt Lake board, we have around 7,800 right now. It has dropped from the 10,000 mark in the state.
The Salt Lake board.
It does climb dramatically over the months. And typically what happens, agents that are not doing any business will not renew their dues. And then they have, the interest rates will drop. They have that one client, and then they'll pay the penalty and then pay their dues. And then the numbers go up.
Right.
Crazy.
So let me ask you this.
Us full-timers are competing with. That's fun.
Yep.
That's fun.
So let me ask you this, Dawn. So, Dawn, you've been in real estate.
You represent them, all of them.
Right. You've been in real estate for how long?
35 years.
35 years. Wow. You're the president of the board. You, I'm sure, have had your own teams. I'm not sure if you have one currently or not, but you've had your own teams. You've brokered. You've done all of it. Top to bottom, side to side, right?
Correct.
In your opinion, what is the number one problem that any agent has, whether they're brand new? Actually, let's break this down. What is the number one problem that brand new agents have?
Picking up your phone.
Actually being a professional?
Being a professional and not doing everything through text.
Uh-huh. Mm. Yeah, I know. Mm. Used to drive me crazy when I became an agent.
Nothing that can replace the connection of a human relationship and networking with your peers. And I always tell people, when you become a new agent, get involved. Go serve on a committee. Get to know the agents that are doing the business in this industry, because it will play a role when you are representing a buyer and you are submitting an offer and that agent knows you.
Mm-hmm. Immerse yourself into it. I am a huge fan of connecting with the agent on the opposite side of that transaction.
Correct.
It's vital.
It's imperative.
It is vital. So, what else? What else do you think that new agents struggle with when they first become an agent?
Get educated, because we all know when you come out of whatever school, real estate school that you go to.
It's book smarts.
Yeah. You pass the test and you go, now what? Mm-hmm. They don't know how to fill out a REPSI. They don't know anything about the addendums. They don't know anything, how to represent a client. Mm-hmm. My highest recommendation is get designations. Go and get educated. Become an ABR, which is accredited buyer's representative.
Yep. I've done it.
Become a seller's representative specialist. Get your CRS designation, because that network of agents throughout the nation, it's vital to your business. And it's all human connections. Mm-hmm. It's getting to know the people that are doing the business in this industry. Because the beautiful thing, they want to help you. They want to teach you. They want to become your mentors.
Right.
And why not take advantage of that? That's free.
Mm-hmm.
And all it creates is a connection.
Which it recently became free. It used to be you had to pay for a lot of those.
Correct.
Right? ABR.
A lot of designations do require, obviously, a class fee.
Right.
I think there's,
they're not
a
bad.
renewal is $100, but for me, it's worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. We have our team here, and we played the game like a lot of other teams out there, where we were giving Zillow a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. And
haven't we all?
And paying upwards of $600 or $700 for a lead, which is ridiculous. Like I'm ashamed of myself that I did that. Mm-hmm. But live and learn. So
well, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
And tell you that when Zillow first came out, I went to my broker at the time and said, "Hey, what do you think about becoming a part of this?" He's like, "That's buyers are not going there to search for homes." And I didn't listen, and I became a Zillow agent.
Uh-huh.
And I picked up what I call a whale. She ended up buying 23 homes for me.
Holy crap!
Wow.
23 homes for me in 1 year.
Wow.
Cash.
You know what? When we were spending the big money.
Wow.
I will say, obviously we kept paying them because we were doing business. When interest rates started creaking up, that's when it really became unaffordable. I'll say.
Yeah, the leads
No.
became more expensive, and,
Well,
and they weren't
quality
converting.
leads.
No, they weren't quality leads.
So I'm going to throw a little aha moment to you. There is a big talk right now about removing the clear cooperation policy from the MLS.
That's what this article was about this morning.
So who do you think that benefits? Let's follow the money, because talking about selling leads, if you are a court organization like Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever organization, and you don't have to put it on the MLS, you can put it on your website and turn around.
They
and
take control.
Take control and sell those leads.
Holy crap!
Right. No,
So are we
it's
fighting that one?
Yes.
Jeez,
Right now.
like we ought to
The
be.
decision, I think, is going to be made today, whether or not it's going to happen or not.
Oh, wow.
Again, you know what? There is a reason why we have clear cooperation. It's to benefit and help and protect the public. That is the whole point of it.
Right.
Is it perfect? No. I don't agree with getting rid of it completely. Could it be amended? Absolutely.
Right.
There are instances where you have a $65 million home that here in the state that is being offered. We don't want every single buyer's agent tramping through, oh, I'm previewing it for a client. That doesn't need to be on the MLS.
Right.
How about people that are in higher leadership, like judges or Supreme Court justices? Their homes don't need to be on the MLS. There are instances where it would apply, but not for everybody.
So how do they, I mean, in your opinion, how do they separate that? How do they come up with, you said, amending it? What does that look like in your eyes?
Well, I'm not an attorney.
Right?
But there's got to be some language that you can opt in or opt out.
Right.
And
Agreed.
it's all going to be seller directed.
Agreed.
So wait a sec. So these high profile people, usually what happens is the agent who's employed has a layer of protection that they take to be able to, who gets to come see it. So again, a third party motivated person who's going to go through the whatever hurdles to make everyone comfortable that they're the appropriate people that should be there. Now they're saying clear cooperation. They're going to take that away. They're going to take away the forced MLS and give it to a third party that can. How can they create a better market for it? Can they? I mean that. I don't understand how that benefits.
How does that benefit the seller? How does that
Yeah.
benefit the public?
Yeah.
Right.
And brokerages are like, yeah, let's do it, because the larger brokerages are like, yeah, join our brokerage because we have.
We have the
500
biggest
agents.
pile of
We're gonna
houses.
have all the
Do you remember the
listings.
real estate books?
Yes.
God,
of course.
we're going back to that.
No, we are going.
Or to
back
New York,
in
where
history.
where it's the brokerage has the listing and it's not across.
The whole.
Interesting.
What's really interesting in that the DOJ wants transparency. So is this creating more transparency or less transparency?
Right.
I have another transparency idea and question. What about Zillow? They have the search platform. They now own .loop, which is all the data. I mean, contract prices, contact information, all of it. They have all that data now, and they have showing service and all. That's crazy to me that they have that access and ability. They have all of the information.
So
They're gathering all the data.
Utah is a non-disclosure state. Zillow is a national brokerage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can release data that is based upon sold information within that state if it is allowed. There are certain laws and protections in place in states where that data is not transferred.
And we're
Okay.
one of them.
We are one of them.
But
If
this
you're-
corporation has, behind that veil, behind that law, what they can give out, they have the data though. That just concerns me because
How come all these lawyers aren't going after Zillow?
no shit. And now
Just
they're
saying.
collaborating with Realtor.com, which means they're.
Like
can
they
you
are
see
truly
can you see
trying.
the move
They're
they're
trying to
making there?
monopolize the
Follow
market.
the money. Follow the money.
Yeah,
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who does it benefit?
Right.
Who monetizes?
They are
all of
going to
this?
be Realtor.com. They are going to be the NER eventually. The way they're getting access,
don't
and
think so.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's big conspiracy dude. Just don't.
Because
pay
I don't
attention
trust
to him.
anything.
don't
Whatever
trust
we think's
anything.
going on, somebody else is pulling the strings somewhere else.
Yeah. What do they say?
I ain't got time to
don't
get myself all
believe-
worked up about a bunch of shit like that. Because
Don't
you know
believe
what?
anything
I
you
know,
hear
but
and half of what you see.
We're paying them to take over our business.
We're not anymore.
I know. We did a lot. of
Nor
that.
would I
Yeah.
ever. So back to our VIP 50. Aaron and I just went down to Florida and met with one of the top, I'll call them agencies that basically take ideas. Don't think just specifically real estate. Anything that you see, you're out on social media and an ad of some sort pops up and maybe it catches your eye and you click on it and then they want your information and then they kind of feed you into a funnel where they're trying to get you to buy whatever the service or product or whatever it is.
Direct marketing.
It's just direct marketing. So we met with this group that's top shelf. Paid them a lot of money to actually even get them to sit down and even talk to us. And we are putting together a system with them where we can go out and we can actually start offering this VIP 50 to other agents. Now, my question to you is, actually, I got a lot of questions. Do you feel like having a program that is a plug and play, step by step, where you can teach agents how to tap into that gold mine of their sphere of influence? Do you like that idea? Do you think it's important? Do you think, you've been all over in the industry and you nailed it, Dawn, earlier when you said these poor kids and these poor people come out and they go to the schooling, they do the 144 hours, they get licensed, they go pay the board all the money, they pay the state all the money. Now they're ready to rock and roll and it's this big fat, oh shit, now what do? I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Wouldn't you agree?
So I agree with you. I think something like that for newer agents would be very helpful to them. Here's what I've discovered, and I'm guilty. How many times have we paid for something? This is going to be great. We're going to use it. We're going to do it. And then you get it, you buy it, and you do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can
and why do you think that is?
Fear of
in your opinion.
Or you get busy just making a living.
Or you get busy being busy doing
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look,
Yeah.
There's laundry. It needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bed that needs to be made.
Yep.
There's a carpet that needs to be cleaned. And before you know it, the day is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's the agents that dedicate the time to follow through with what they say they're going to do and pay for. But how many memberships to a gym have you bought and then never show up?
So what would you say?
I had 3 at one time.
Right. What would you say, or what would you think, in your opinion, would be the answer to? Because, let's face it, we've all gone to all the different, Tony Robbins, the meetings, the trainings, we've all paid for it, you name it. Coaching, you name it. All of that. We've all done it. We've all spent a small fortune. And Aaron and I have actually had this conversation many times about what stopped us. You're stoked. It's good information. But what stopped us from actually doing it? What was, and we really dug deep within ourselves and actually had some real deep conversations about why we thought, I'm a smart guy. I'm a motivated dude. I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. I don't let moss grow under my feet. And why didn't I put that stuff into my life? Why didn't I implement, back when I went through the ninja training, why didn't I put it into use for me? And my answer is flat out, I would go to these conferences and these trainings, and they would do such a massive brain dump, like just so much freaking information. And yeah, at the time you're so excited about it, but then you get home and it's like, oh shit, where do I start? What do I do? And you just don't. Maybe you pick up a few things that you start implementing, but to actually take on that system or whatever it is, my personal opinion is it's too much at one time, and you just can't process it, and you don't know where to start.
Overwhelmed with information.
With information.
I think you also get addicted to learning, and then you somehow fool yourself that, I went to a class, so that
this will be different.
And just by osmosis, you're going to succeed.
I also think that in an environment where you're in a class scenario, and it's a rah-rah moment, you're surrounded by peers that are in that rah-rah moment, and then you go home and it's just you. And how do you recreate that rah-rah moment? And
it's a good point.
You literally have to have that network of agents. Hey, accountability. We're going to do this on Monday. Let's meet in the office and get it done. Because when you're together, the energy, you feed off of each other, and you become competitive, because we're all competitive, and you do the things that you say you're going to do. But when you're home alone and you're staring at your phone and you're staring at your computer, the motivation wanes.
No question. I love that you just said that, because we obviously didn't want to just be another company out there, another place that's having the rah-rah meetings. I mean, between me and you, Don, and we know each other quite well. Yeah. My motivation for doing what I'm doing is it's because I truly, truly want to help other agents be successful. I love teaching people and giving them the tools that make that if they have the wherewithal to go out and put them into use, they can kill it. I love that. You know, just like you, I'm not getting any younger, and I want something as my legacy. I want something that, and I've done some pretty big things in my life and been very, very successful and done a lot of stuff and that I'm proud of. Even in my previous job or company that I had. But we've talked a lot about this, and we wanted to make sure that our system didn't create that. And so what we've done is we've set our system up to where it is literally do this first. Step one right here. Yep, you've got this whole big thing that can make you a ton of money.
Here comes the table thumping.
Here comes the table thumping. Do that right there. Just do that one thing, and then do the next thing, and then the next thing. Just keep your head down. Don't worry about what's down there. Just stay right here and follow that process through. And then on top of that, we are going to coach them and have accountability, which you said, to make sure that the people that are paying us to learn our system are learning our system.
Yes.
That's what it's all about to us.
Yes.
To me, that's what it's all about. And quite frankly, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of people, unless they have some skin in the game, they won't take it serious. And we've experienced that over and over and over again with the people on our team.
I was going to ask whether or not you've beta tested this with anybody on your team and whether or not they've utilized it, and then perhaps share their success story based upon the...
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we're at.
And that's where we're at. Yeah. We've done that.
And we are doing that.
And we're in a process right now where we literally want to go out and find 20 agents right here in Salt Lake City that we're going to sell the system to, and they're going to get our coaching at a hugely discounted rate from what we're going to charge for it. And the whole point is they are a case study, and then we're going to they're going to become a member of our team for 12 weeks, basically, so that we make sure that they are successful and doing what it is they want to do. But again, it still comes back to if and I'm a firm believer of this, if they don't have any skin in the game, they just won't do it.
I think there's a few and far between agents that will, because they're motivated to be successful, because they see people like you and you, Aaron, that make it look easy.
Right. And it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It is not easy. It's not hard. It's just you got to put in the work, and you've got to follow up, and you've got to do what you say you're going to freaking do. It's that simple. If you tell somebody that you're going to show up for them and then you don't show up for them, well, you just lost, and so did they. So, yeah, it's a pretty big deal that I really think, just the feedback that we've got from outside sources like these guys down in Florida, the gentleman from over in Colorado, and we've also gone out to some brokerages and because our system it's basically a 2-day webinar, I'll call it. Because our very first day, we used to just go right into teaching our system to our people on our team. But what we found is they weren't in the right frame of mind. It's all mindset. And so we added an entire day of nothing but mindset, goals, knowing your why, values, you name it. All of those things with powerful worksheets and workbooks to teach them and to give them the necessary tools that they're not just saying, yeah, it'd be really nice if I could do this. It would be really nice. I would love if I was making X amount of dollars. Well, until you break that down and until you freaking put in a game plan of how you're going to get that, you will never get that.
I would encourage you to add a financial component to that, because a lot of agents will do one deal and they'll make, I don't know, $15,000, $20,000, and they will blow it.
Oh, yeah.
In a month. And you have to teach agents, be respectful with your money, because
That's fantastic advice, Dawn.
May not be your only paycheck for the next 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
There's a lot of
Which
agents
oftentimes new
don't-
agents, that's true. They have somebody
absolutely.
preloaded and ready, and then they
I
find out
made
what's up.
it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the cool thing is, Don, is in our system, okay? So a couple of things that are very, very important with our system. When we are creating our VIP 50, when we're out there talking to our friends and our family and people that are close to us, there's two major key components. One, we specifically ask them if they want to be a part of the VIP 50, because that gets them committed into, and let's face it, if somebody is your friend or family, they want a better relationship with you. They do. But the second one, which is even more important, is the only thing we ask from them is that they refer us to one person a year. One.
And won't you find out who your friends are very quickly when if they trust you enough to hand over?
But you got to earn that trust.
Of course you do.
Yep. And that's where our system comes in. I mean, honestly, Don, by the time we're done, the people come into our system, like my personal VIP 50, I am touching them in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a text, a phone call, a video, our mixer, whatever it is. We have 8 touches every single month on every single person. So there's 8 interactions with that person every single month.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
It is.
Yeah. It's pretty powerful because you really show up. And I want Aaron to take a minute because I'm
listening to how you're describing this, and so I definitely have stuff to say. But
so and then I'll shut up. But Aaron fought me because Aaron's 25 years in the business. He's like you, man. He's old school in this business, and he learned back in the day with George here at the brokerage and whatnot that you're on the phone for 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day prospecting, and you're out knocking doors, and you're farming, and you're all of these things that I always call them the not so fun shit. That it sucks and it's not fun and it's
And it
hard.
doesn't work for everyone.
It doesn't work
I have
hardly.
never I've never done that. I've never gotten on the phone and gotten a list and made calls. Never.
damn.
Because it's not my jam.
It is not my
It is
jam
not
either.
my jam.
I'm with you.
And it's, yes, you remove that element, but where are your strengths? And you will find individual agents will have strengths in certain areas and weaknesses in other areas. But so it can't be a one size fits all. You got to figure out what works for that person and utilize that and really work it. Because forcing someone to make phone calls, they're going to suck at it.
They are going to suck at it. And let's face it. When you're
If you
brand
hate
new,
it, you're going to suck at it.
well,
Exactly, that's
and
the point.
I hated it.
and when you're a brand new agent on a brand new team or with a brand new brokerage to you, they're going to give you the shit leads. They're going to give you the worst of the worst to try to teach you. And it's just like, I might as well go over there and start banging my head against that wall right there as opposed to doing that. That's my opinion. But Aaron had a really, really hard time on
Letting go of the old and going.
letting go of the old and reaching in and really wrapping his arms around the new. And I want him to tell you his experience now as opposed to, because I was in his ass over and over and over and over, just saying, dude, your next deal is going to come from your VIP 50. What are you wasting your time for? Focus on your business.
I wasn't letting go of one to go off. I never took transition, but I built my initial 50, and I picked people that I wanted on versus the people that were paying attention and investing in me. So I built it the wrong way initially.
Yeah.
So I had to work through all that and figure that out. But the way I want to describe what this is it's just we're teaching our agents how to be able to earn a living investing and spending time with the people they love and enjoy. It's not transactional. It's literally you can literally earn a living.
It is with intention.
You can literally earn a living and afford to quit prospecting the traditional way to the cold calls, and you can spend all your time and you can earn a living. But really the big value and benefit is the friendships and the fulfillment that comes out of it. That's been my thing from this year. Is it?
And what a beautiful result.
It's been healing, actually.
Exactly.
It's been healing.
Yeah.
Like my
major
friendships.
changes.
My friendships were so surface level. I know everybody. This, and everybody likes me, but they weren't referring me. They weren't, nobody was putting their neck out. My son's been asking me questions. He works for us. And I've done better than 600 transactions in my time, and my mainstay of business is SOI. But I wasn't working it until we got together. It was an afterthought. It was because
if it fell in his lap, he would work it.
But I was spending all of my time prospecting for sell by owners and expireds and doing that kind of a thing. And so, yeah, coming into this direction when that message has been crammed through Mike Ferry and that whole way of thinking,
yeah.
I couldn't get away from it. I still get nervous midday. We're like, I need to make some calls, So
no, you don't.
It's actually been really fun. It's taken off, and it literally is just spending time with the people that want to be in my life and get to enrich those relationships. And part of how we do that, part of what we're trying to teach these people on our team and in the crowd is you're building your own little universe of people, your own little tribe, and you're in the middle where we create referral opportunity into their lives, so we're constantly creating value, adding back to them, and eventually what we're trying to get is that they care enough that because they all hear real estate, they're obligated to their sister or their mom to go buy their house. We don't want that business. We don't want to interrupt that relationship, but care about me enough to reach out and say, oh, hey, dude, you're going to love this guy. He's the best. Give him a call, or you
have those specific super fans because you're showing up so well for them that they may be sitting in a restaurant and they overhear somebody they don't even know talking about real estate, and they walk by and hand them a card and say, you know what, my buddy's one of the best. You need to call him. That's power.
Everybody has neighbors.
Well, it's like I said, every adult knows between 200 and 250 people, in your sphere.
Conservatively, yeah.
So, yeah, I just...
Do you mind if I ask a question?
No, fire away.
About my agents. Is this program that you're going to sell to different brokerages, if they utilize it, is it a requirement to come and be a part of your team?
No.
You're just...
No. When I said that, I mean they're on our team.
Gotcha.
So for example, let's just say somebody from your brokerage decided to pay us to learn this system. We would want them here as much as they can get here, but you know me and I know you, and we're not trying to recruit them. That is not our purpose. Our purpose is to be there for them as a coach, one-on-one or one-on a small group, and make sure that they are being successful with our system. That's what it's all about. And it's got a lot of power.
Zoom calls. We'll have...
Yeah, there's going to be some on Zoom but for example, I'll just give you some examples. We meet every single morning and read every morning, 9:00 with our team, and tons of agents from around the office at different times come in and sit in with us, and it's always something really positive. And even more important, we discuss it as a group, what we're reading for that day, and we talk about how they can implement that into their everyday life, whatever that message is. It's pretty powerful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. We teach and we teach these people and our team that we actually have a specific worksheet that you write down 25. You create an affirmation, you write it down every single day 25 times for 30 days, and then you create a new one. So every single day, us and the people on our team are writing out our affirmation 25 times. We're writing out 25 gratitudes and things that we're just grateful for.
Of course.
Stuff like that. It's just, we talk about with our team about getting your very first win of the day, and your first win of the day is to make your bed. Seriously.
I will not leave my house until
Yeah.
the bed is made. I'm a freak like that.
It's a freaking win.
Here's the deal. If your home life, your sanctuary is disorganized, how can you go out in the world as an organized person?
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, so I mean, it's just stuff like that. That's why we, especially for this group of people that we're going after right now, Don, because again, these are going to be our case studies. These are going to be the people, and that's why we're giving them such a discount, or going to offer it to them at such a discount, is because we want that feedback. We want that review. We want that them telling us what they like and what they don't like. You know what I mean? About our system. And the only way that we, in my opinion, the only way that we can really, really show up for them is to have at least some one-on-one or face-to-face. Because, I mean, obviously we have our team going on our system. And I was talking to our team the other day, and I said to them, I'm like, could you imagine if you would have bought this system and got all the information, and then you had to go figure it all out on your own? And every one of them are like, oh, hell no. No. Could never do it.
But how often do people pay for stuff that's exactly
why they don't do it, is because they don't have that support on the backside of it.
Right.
And
what we're battling, though, is also Utah culture that we can all do. We can look at it and go, I can do it myself. So which is really why we don't take and implement the stuff we learn it, because we listen to it. We think we can do it better. We already knew it.
Well, and let's be honest. Utah's the whole attitude here is cheap.
Well, we cut our own hair. And
cheap. Flowy. I'm not dissing, but that's just...
And everybody can write their own contracts, and everybody can, represent themselves legally. And
I mean, my God, I'm one of 11. So you don't think that things were tied around my house?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a being exercise. Our system, it helps them be a referable person, essentially.
Exactly. Yep. It's earning the business. Yep. Just like what you were talking about earlier.
Through education and trust that you create in building those relationships.
Yep.
Don, you're going to die when I tell you this. And we talked about this on our last episode, so you should go back and watch it, and then this will make a lot of sense. I just got out of it the hardest deal I've ever done in my entire career. And it wasn't because the deal was hard. It was because the representation on the other side was less than desirable, and the clients were a pain in the ass on that end. But I literally had a conversation with this agent that was 25 years in the business, and she told me that there should not be addendums. That I just don't understand why there has to be so many addendums. The Rep C is the Rep C, and that covers everything. I just don't get why there has to be addendums.
So no amendments to any...
I bet she just didn't dare to go talk to her clients again. That's like she didn't want to go back to them or something.
Because her clients, okay, I'll bring you up to speed a little bit. We had sent an addendum to them where we had fixed two things that just typos on previous addendums or whatever. Yeah, this, that, or the other. Yeah. And we were adding a name to our clients. Their son was going to be a part of from the beginning, but I didn't put their name on it. So we're just fixing it by adding their name. And her clients refused to sign it.
Did they give an explanation as to why?
Well, her explanation to me was, they
didn't trust
I work for my clients, and I have to do everything they tell me to do. That was what she told me. I'm not kidding you. So it was hard like this. And then she had the guts to ask me, because there was many times I had some pretty strong words with this person. I was respectful, but I'm a passionate dude. And when I get a little worked up, I get loud and
thump your finger.
And thump my finger. And anyways, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with this?
When you were speaking to the other agent, you were very passionate.
She didn't want more addendums, I think is what you were...
No, it wasn't the addendums. It was, she had the gall to say, Perry, I think you're taking this a little too personally. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is my career. This is what I do. Of course I take it personally.
My clients are moving from Salt Lake to Kanab, need a place to live.
Yeah. It's like, and you guys are jerking us around and from one day to the next, I don't know if this whole entire thing's going to completely fall apart. Yeah, I take this real personally.
My clients are trusting in me to be their advocate, their champion. And if I can't have a clear communication with you, how am I effectively working for my clients?
So, Dawn, I know that you've had tough agents that you've had to work with on the opposite side of any transaction. I mean, if you're an agent for 30 years or 25 years, you've had them. It's just...
It's inevitable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've had them as well, but nothing like this one. Like... When it closed and it was all, I didn't even know up until I got the word from their title. I literally wasn't sure if it was going to close. Like, and can you imagine the stress that puts on my clients?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sorry that you went through that.
No, it's okay. I get off on it because it just happened and it's so fresh and I'm just like, man, don't be that agent. If you're an agent, do your job, learn your trade, be professional. Isn't
there something in the ethics
to your
that
broker.
Isn't there something in our
broker.
ethics that like you can't be a friction in the you can't be in the way of the deal?
So yeah, there's obviously the
some
code
to
of
that.
ethics in which we have to abide by,
Yeah.
honesty and communication and
Cooperation and-
transparency. It's all a part of it, and the whole goal behind the code of ethics is to protect the public. That's
Exactly.
really our job, is to protect our fiduciary.
Exactly. And educating your client is also your duty.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Correctly. But oftentimes you will find the people that are the squeakiest wheel are the agents or brokers that have done one transaction.
Right.
And they just don't know.
Right.
They only know what they know. And so they've been doing things the same way for the last 20 years, and therefore it shouldn't
They
be.
have a lot of false beliefs.
Yeah. And it does take a calm, patient individual on the other side saying, well, let me bring you
There's
up
your
to
fault.
date.
That's your fault.
You know
What
what?
is
In all
happening?
fairness,
I wouldn't describe calm
I
or
was
patient
calm
over her.
and patient for
Until-
way longer than I thought I could be.
And sometimes it is difficult, and we get it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was always respectful. It wasn't like I was on the phone screaming at her and calling her names, and I would never do that. But I'm pretty passionate. And I'm told,
Protects his clients. I
yes,
love it.
I do.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm a freaking
He's
bulldog.
a Papa Bear.
That's it. And my clients were, I love this. I got to tell you this we're sitting at the closing table and the guy, not the wife, the guy sitting kitty corner to me, just sitting right there. And he leans over and he's like, you know what, Perry? This never, ever, ever would have happened without you. And I freaking love you. Thank you. Tell me that's not cool.
That is the best. Get
That's
it in
the
writing
best
and put it
feeling
out
ever.
there for the world to see.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
reviews go a long way.
Yes, they do. Well, we've gone quite long. I love having you on here. You're so knowledgeable and
You're sharp. We're represented well.
yes,
So-
we are.
Well, that's very sweet. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yes, we are.
Well, I love you as well. And, I think your program sounds like a fantastic idea. Curious about pricing. I'm sure that's all coming together.
It is.
And when you'll roll it out,
I'll share with you.
I would love to have you guys come and talk to the office.
Okay.
Because there are agents out there right now that have been in this industry for 5 years or even 10 years that are still struggling to make ends meet. I mean, it's like, again, real estate is cyclical. It goes up, it
Yep.
goes down. We have good years, we have bad years. The financial advice would be imperative for agents
Love
to
it.
learn, because we all learn from our mistakes, and let's not make that mistake, because it's a costly one.
Exactly. It is. It absolutely is. And I'm glad that you actually just said that, Dawn, because earlier I was going to say something about this and then just got off. But we even have agents in our brokerage here right now that have been in the business for 20 plus years, and they are so attracted to us and our system and what's going on. It's actually really, really cool. And I've had conversations with one in particular, and she's a great agent, but she was kind of under the, how do I say this? She was her sister was an agent as well, and she was more quiet and just kind of took a step back, and their sphere was a lot the same. And her sister recently passed away from cancer. And sad deal, but she's trying to get back now, and she just feels so lost. She feels so...
She needs motivation and encouragement
Yes.
and a win.
Yes.
Here's my suggestion on the people or the newer agents that you give the crap to. Give them 10 crap, give them 1 good. Let them have that 1 win, which will encourage them to continue doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyways, it's not just, I mean, I know a lot of our conversation today was about newer agents, but the fact of the matter is there are plenty of agents out there that still are chasing every single deal. They're chasing that dollar every single freaking month.
I was 25 years in and couldn't see an ability to actually go back and invest the time necessary because I was front end hunting. I was going out and finding meat. Now
It's all what's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And it's not long term.
And it was not enjoyable.
So, but thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
I know
thanks
we
for
didn't
being
tell
here.
you a lot, but I wanted your honest to God, just,
He respects your input and opinion.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
yeah. So I really wanted to just kind of blast you with a whole bunch of stuff today, and thanks for letting me do that. I know you were a little nervous, but it was easy.
Well, it's hard to prepare for something when they say, just show up.
Yeah, just show up and we'll just talk.
I'm like, okay, here we go.
That was freaking her out.
It was totally freaking me
You were
out.
in good hands. I would never ever take advantage of that.
It's like showing up for a news interview. Oh, we're going to talk about
Right, whatever.
and then they go in a totally different direction.
Right.
That you were not prepared for.
Right.
I'm like, okay, here we go.
Now, why did you do this then?
Well, I'm encouraged of what you guys are doing.
Thank
and
you.
I honestly see a void in our industry that this will help and benefit a lot of agents. So kudos to you for
Thank you.
stepping up.
I think one thing that this does, and this has kind of been becoming clear to me, there's been a big shift and leap in how we're doing business. It's now attention based. So all these new agents that know how to go be social and public and visible, they're getting a lot of opportunity. And so I actually think our avatar is the old guard, some of the people who are seasoned in the business that don't know how to shift over and go into that space,
Right.
Yeah.
but still be relevant and productive. So it teaches relevancy. It's enriching relationship. It's bringing it back to where you don't
It's
have to
personal.
you don't have to go be public and flashy, even though that's part of how we do things. It teaches you specifically, intentionally how to be visible.
But there's a specific way that you put yourself out in the public. Drives me crazy, and then I'll shut up. It drives me crazy that you see all these agents out there posting, "Oh, look at me, look at this, blah 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 blah," and there's. And then they can't understand why they don't get business. And there's no call to action. There's no value. It's like, oh, look at me, or whatever it is.
Look at my new car, but that's exactly why people are pissed off, because they think we make too much money.
Exactly.
It's the wrong message.
The message should be, why should they hire you, and how are you going to add value to the transaction in which they are paying you to support them and be their advocate, be their champion, and get to the conclusion of either selling or purchasing a home with value. And if you can't do that standing in front of a Porsche.
Yeah.
Hair.
Or quite frankly, just doing a walkthrough of a house and just going, oh, look at this pretty house. It's like, okay, it's a house.
Point out the
Now
obvious. Oh, look, it's kind of slanting, or oh,
Right.
pay attention to these stairs, or did you notice this little stain up here? Because we have a trained eye.
Exactly.
We know in homes, we know it. And I tell my clients, I am going to point out the obvious. I'm sorry, but you may not see this, but I immediately see things
Exactly.
that I'm going to bring to your attention. That's adding value.
Yes, it is. It's not all free, sweet dreams and sugar cookies. It's not.
Paperwork.
Yeah. So, anyways, we sure appreciate you. We appreciate you, all the extra curricular stuff that you do, being the president and all because you don't get paid to do that.
Yeah, you're investing in all of that.
That's
so
you're
thank you.
investing a ton of your freaking life and time that you don't have to. So, my hat's off to you. I freaking love
thank
you,
you.
and I really, really do appreciate you.
Thank you. You guys have been awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
All righty. People, have a fantastic week. We appreciate it. We'll see you next Friday.